I'm not gonna be provoked. Deion Sanders not impressed with son Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur Sanders continues to take steps toward the NFL, preparing for the next chapter of his life. He has been putting in work on the field and training his body for the pre-draft process. The quarterback is also making changes off the field, including a makeover. However, his fresh haircut was absolutely loathed by his father, Deion Sanders, at first sight. Was Coach Prime overreacting? Well, he did quote the Bible. Deion didn't think his son looked fly in his new haircut. I'm not going to be provoked, man. Lord is my shepherd. I should not want. I'm not going to be provoked, said Prime. So what did Shedeur do to his hair that Deion found so offensive? Shedeur has got some cornrows. And reciting Bible verses was perhaps Deion's way of trying to set his son on a righteous path and remove his braids. These cornrows come as a surprise since Shedeur had said earlier that he would not change the professional look he adopted in his final season of college. He wanted to focus on football, calling his last year in college a business year. That's why he gave up the long, twisted braids he kept at Jackson State and during his first year in Colorado. But why is Deion so opposed to his son having cornrows considering he had a similar hairstyle once during his playing days in the NFL? Deion's throwback braids. It's hard to imagine Coach Prime with a thick head of hair considering he has been somewhat bald for a very long time. But the 1990s were a glorious time for him. He was winning Super Bowls and had a head full of hair. He always had a penchant for flair that magnified his primetime persona and his larger-than-life personality. Deion didn't shy away from keeping different styles to catch the media's attention, which once included cornrows and braids. He never shied away from making bold statements either. He also sported a perm, and in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Sanders rocked the Jerry curls. Coach Prime also kept a mullet-style cut. Interestingly, despite having the confidence to pull off any look, he never had an afro or dreads. It all went downhill in his early 30s when his hair started to give up on him. Therefore, he started wearing hats but finally decided to embrace the bald look. My hair started thinning when I was in my late 20s. Luckily, I was also a hat guy before I started going bald, so it was easier to cover up. Finally, when I was 33 or 34, I just shaved my head bald, said Deion. However, Deion also wanted to restore his hairline and looked for different solutions to combat hair loss. Nothing worked. He finally decided to get a hair transplant in 2017 after dealing with issues that come with baldness, and it was successful. Maybe Deion feels experimenting with the hairdo led to an early hair loss. And perhaps he doesn't want his son to have the same predicament in his 30s. Shedeur can't predict his future in the NFL. He would love to emulate Prime's career success though, but will definitely not want to go bald in the process.